Well, it's Manchester City hosting Bournemouth as the place for second position is up for grabs, and we're off and running for the start here. Brilliant atmosphere at the Etihad Stadium, where everything is very much on the line here in terms of both teams trying to continue their start to the season. Bournemouth have been absolutely brilliant since they have just lost the one game so far, which was Liverpool on the opening day of the season. That was in heartbreaking fashion, mind you, but since then they have recovered very well, and now they're in a position to really strengthen here and go and put on a marker at a ground which is notorious for many Premier League teams here. Oh, there's a chance early on. Chance, brilliant, it's 1-0. It is Krupi, but he is offside. Oh, Bournemouth with nearly the perfect start to the game here. Eli Jr. Krupi had just made the run. Now, whether or not he's offside, we'll have to see. Brilliant from Tyler Adams. The lovely combination play here from Tavernier and then David Brooks. Oh, yes, he's clearly offside. Well, Eli Jr. Krupi nearly scoring his 5th Premier League goal in what would have been a blockbuster start to this match here. Manchester City have been fired an early warning shot. Well, I've been so impressed with Andoni Iraola. I think pound for pound, he is the best manager in the Premier League. He's had to replace 4 of his back 5 in the summer with Kirke, Zabarni, Hussein and Kepa, all moving to pastures new. But since then, he's had absolutely no problems getting his methods and his coaching techniques forward in such a nice position here. But Bournemouth are all about high energy, high press, looking to put the pressure on early on. Eli Juni Krupier, he scored 25 goals and assists, 23 goals and 2 assists in his 32 games for Lorient, Bournemouth's sister club. I'll be very curious to see how Manchester City approach this, because scoring goals has not been a problem, because that's mainly because of Erling Haaland, who scored 11 goals in the Premier League. Here's Marco Senesi, the Argentine centre-back, who lost his place last season to Hussein and Zabarni. But the Argentine is back in the heart of the defence. He's been there for his 4th season now, becoming one of the mainstays for Andoni Iraola. Here's Josko Guardiola, now becoming a mainstay for Pep Guardiola. Oh, risky pass there by Phil Foden. Diaz, Haaland, brilliant. Here's Ryan Cherki. Phil Foden, the 2 number 10s combining here. Nico O'Reilly on the left-hand side. Here's Jeremy Doku now. Bernardo Silva, the captain. He's got Mateus Nunes on the right-hand side, which he does use. Here's Bernardo Silva, and this is where Pep Guardiola and Manchester City just take the sting out of the start here. Bournemouth are on absolute fire there. Could have very easily scored with their very first attack in the first minute. Here's Guardiola being put under pressure there by Tavernier. Foden. Look at Bernardo Silva there. He's almost playing as the auxiliary centre-back as it stands. Nico Gonzalez is the one that will be playing as the holding midfielder. No Tijani Reinders nor Rodri. Here's Jeremy Doku. Pushes that pass forward to Gonzalez. Lovely combination here. Nico O'Reilly, ball into the box. Erling Haaland is very well defended. Well, the left back, Alex Jimenez, just comes across. And he does very well to make sure that he was touch tight with Erling Haaland. Haaland just needs a chance. Here's O'Reilly. He's been eased off the ball here. Lovely play there from Jimenez. Diakite, his favourite to it, and he just pumps that forward. Here's Guardiola. Bernardo Silva. Guardiola again. Manchester City looking for a bit more consistency in their team. Jeremy Doku is very strong. Bournemouth turned the ball in a decent position, but City are on it again. It's really tight in the middle of the park here. Andoni Iraola has very much instructed his team here to not be in their shell, go out there and do exactly what has found themselves in the 2nd position in the league already here. 5 wins, 3 draws, and the only defeat came in the opening fixture against Liverpool. They were 2-0 down. Semenyo scored 2, and then Liverpool with the late show with Chiesa and Salah adding the seal to the points. But since then, Bournemouth have been absolutely brilliant. Here's Nico O'Reilly, Guardiola, Gonzalez, Bernardo Silva. Decent patterns here from the City players. Trying to push forward here. With Bournemouth settling down in their position. You can see Alex Scott trying to press Nico Gonzalez there. So is Tyler Adams, the two in midfield. Jeremy Doku, brilliant drop of the shoulder there. Pushes that pass forward. It's Phil Foden chance. Phil Foden, what a block that is from Tennessee. Manchester City come alive. Good block there from the Argentine. Phil Foden picking up an advanced position here. Jeremy Doku again. That is such a good pass there from the Belgian winger. Finds Phil Foden, who doesn't need a second invitation to shoot. Good start here. This has been a really good start to the match. Both teams are putting on the pressure early on. Foden's ball in. Haaland's header. It's not cleared. And the second attempt it is. Eli Junior Krupi is trying to just make himself an outlet as Foden floats the ball in. It's another deflection and it's another corner. Tyler Adams, the US international, in the midfield pivot, making sure that he covered the spaces. Anthony Taylor concedes yet another corner here in favour of Manchester City. Phil Foden on that left-hand side, he's had a bright start to the game. Well, for all the problems that Bournemouth have had before the start of the season, the way that they have recovered in terms of team spirit has been first class. They do have Evan Nilsson who's on the bench, who will be an absolutely brilliant outlet for them as Phil Foden's ball in. There's a chance here. And they do manage to clear, and Semenyo can lead the counter charge here for Bournemouth. Here's Antoine Semenyo. Look at this carry here. Brilliant pass onto the left-hand side for David Brooks. He doesn't have the pace to get past Mateus Nunes, who eats the ground brilliantly. Superb from the Portuguese, who's now made right back his home here. Well, Bournemouth are really, really dangerous, mind you. Every time they get the ball, especially on the counter-attack, Semenyo's ball carrying is first class. And we saw David Brooks, who's playing on the right-hand side, find himself open on the left, but didn't have the pace to get past Mateus Nunes. Look at the press applied here from Bournemouth. It's brilliant. Alex Jimenez steps in there. The Spanish right-back. Here's Adrian Truffert. French left-back finds Semenyo. That combination will be key here for Bournemouth. That's for sure. Here's Scott. Heavy challenge there. Alex Scott in the middle of the park alongside Tyler Adams will be looking to try and crowd out the City midfield. They have Bernardo Silva, Nico Gonzalez, Phil Foden and Ryan Cherki all playing in close quarters. So Bournemouth will try and match that in terms of numbers and intensity. Well, Semenyo has been head and shoulders Bournemouth's best attacking outlet in the Premier League season so far. 6 goals and 3 assists. Has been absolutely brilliant. Jimenez floats the ball towards the far stake here. City defend that well. Here's the captain Bernardo Silva. He's picked his head up for the switch here for Ryan Cherki. Oh, the header, the cushion header could have been very, very tight and risky there from Cherki. Here's Foden. Gonzalez. Now Bernardo Silva. Nico O'Reilly. City looking very fluid in their positions here. You can see Bernardo Silva is picking up any sort of position that he can. He's been all over the park so far. Here's Doku. Lovely turn away from Adams. Nico O'Reilly under a bit of pressure. Bernardo Silva almost playing as the left-sided centre-back here. Driving forward with the ball. Junior Krupi had an opportunity there to press, but decided against it as Guardiola combines with Gonzalez. Here's Jeremy Doku. O'Reilly, lovely first touch, even though the pass wasn't the best. Calm play this from Manchester City. 5 wins, 1 draw and 3 losses for the Citizens. Spurs and Brighton in back-to-back defeats just meant that City were really reeling in the early stages, but they settled down nicely. But Aston Villa's victory at Villa Park was a deserved one. The ball breaks kindly here. Here's Junior Krupi. He's been crowded out there. Good defending there from Manchester City again. Strengthened numbers for them. Here's Ryan Shirky. Good pass there for Erling Haaland. And Georgia Petrovic is quickly off his line. And he hits that out to touch. Petrovic, of course, was at Chelsea under Maurizio Pochettino. Went on loan to Strasbourg last season. And this season was sold to Bournemouth in the north of £20 million. Good business from Chelsea after they acquired him for about 12 or 13 million pounds from the MLS. I think he was representing New England, if I'm not mistaken. What a journey it's been for him from the MLS to the Premier League. Here's Phil Foden, been put under real pressure there. Still manages to keep the ball. Nunes to Doku. Jeremy Doku, a dangerous outlet for Manchester City. Here's Doku again. Gonzalez. City very patient here, just over 10 minutes on the clock. Bernardo Silva's scoop pass attempt, well defended by Bournemouth. Adrian Trafford just hammers the ball forward, doesn't get distance, only height. Doku in a central position here, gets away from a couple of challenges. Phil Foden tried the clever pass. Gonzalez, Haaland, thought about the shot. Erling Haaland, not enough venom on it. Shifted it onto his right foot, didn't have enough to take that away from the keeper. Very good pass there from Nico Gonzalez. Just lifted that in the air to try and find Erling Haaland in a bit of space. Diakite. Here's Alex Jimenez. Good turn of pace there from the Spanish right back, but he's given the ball away. It could have been very, very risky from him. Stays alive though. The switch is on. Guardiola defends well. Gonzalez mops up. Here's Nico O'Reilly. Now Josko Gvardiol, the Croatian centre-back. We saw him when he first came to Manchester City, where he was this marauding left-back who was scoring goals for fun. At one point, he was the second top scorer for Manchester City behind Erling Haaland. Just showed you the level of production. Now he's been playing a lot more of a conventional centre-back on the left-hand side. Here's Adrian Trafford. Thought about the cross, decides against it. Here's Senesi. Tyler Adams. Before Diakite. Good shift onto the right-hand side. Jimenez. Diakite again. Bournemouth being patient with possession. They know that they'll have to try and match City in that aspect. And a long ball forward easily into the hands of Gianluigi Donnarumma. But Manchester City went big in the summer for a new goalkeeper. I feel they have been rewarded big time. Donnarumma is an unbelievable shot stopper. Really does add a different dimension to Manchester City's defense. Really well played there by Gonzalez. Nunes clears. Adrian Trafford. Under a bit of pressure, Cherki picks that up and the right-footed passes into the channel. And Senesi is quickly off his line. Brilliant defending there from Marco Senesi. Erling Haaland was just waiting to burst forward. Well defended on that occasion. Here's Scott. Adams. Diakite. Jimenez. Shifted it across to David Brooks. Alex Scott again. Looking very comfortable in the middle of the park. Senesi. Finds Adrian Trafford. Semenyo. Again, good possession here from Bournemouth. No panic in their play. This is exactly what Andoni Iraola wants his team to do here. Onto the left-hand side. Trafford. Semenyo. Looking for the quick 1-2. Well defended by City again. Again, they're trying to play long and quick to Erling Haaland up front. Good defending so far. Here's Trafford. Adams. Marco Senesi, who's going to have a battle on his hands against Erling Haaland. Adrian Trafford. Again, channel pass has been asked a lot from Tavernier. Ruben Diaz is strong. And he wins a throw in there. Good defending there from Ruben Diaz, who's had to endure giving the captain's armband to Bernardo Silva this season. Manchester City need to find sources of goals here. If Erling Haaland blanks, Manchester City do need options, but Erling Haaland seldom blanks, does he? I mean, he has just been lethal in front of goal. I thought he's just taken his overall centre-forward play this season to another level. And his finishing remains absolutely elite. Here's Tavernier. Good play there from the English number 10. Shifted out to Alex Scott. Here's Tyler Adams. Diakite. For the shifted pass here. Instead he goes for the switch out on the left-hand side. Wise move there considering it's Antoine Semenyo now. Up against Matheus Nunes. Semenyo from a standing start trying to burst past. Brilliantly done there. Good helping out there from Bernardo Silva. Here's Ryan Cherki. Not an accurate pass on that occasion. This is very good football. This from Bournemouth. Applying a high press. Not allowing Manchester City all their way here. Jimenez. Good carry there from the right back. Brooks. Decent ball in. Cleared away by Ruben Diaz. Haaland. What a touch. That is brilliant from the Norwegian. Nico Gonzalez. Ryan Cherki's header. And Haaland is bearing down on goal here. Erling Haaland. Massive opportunity. It's Erling Haaland. It's 1-0 to Manchester City. Just like that. Erling Haaland scores his 12th goal of the Premier League. This time from Ryan Cherki's cushioned header. Haaland was miles onside in his own half. And when he's bearing down on goal, there's absolutely no doubt about it. Supreme play there from Manchester City, who've had to absorb a bit of pressure. But when they have an outlet like Erling Haaland, my goodness me. Well, as it stands, City now find themselves in second position in the league. Bournemouth will have to respond here. All started with the clearance there. Erling Haaland's first touch is first class. And from there, City are in business. Look at this. Oh, it's just special play from Gonzalez to Cherki. And then Haaland through on goal. Buries it past Petrovic. This is Manchester City in their flow state here. The high line from Bournemouth brutally exposed. Haaland scores his 12th. Well, that's Manchester City in a nutshell. We are seeing a different dimension of Nico Gonzalez this season, being a lot more expansive with his passing. We saw a scoop pass early on to Erling Haaland. This time to Ryan Cherki. The cushion header was perfect from the Frenchman. And then Haaland does the rest. Well, 18 minutes on the clock. Manchester City have broken the deadlock. Bournemouth have been very good in this first half, but no success, and Manchester City now will look to force the initiative. Nunes, he's given the ball away in a risky position, but Manchester City get it back. Foden, Haaland, City look like they're in the mood here. Haaland with the outside of the boot pass, nearly perfect there. Well, Nico O'Reilly had made the run. I think Alex Jimenez was just trying to body check him there to make sure that he didn't have too much to run at. Adams. Here's Trafford. Tavernier. Semenyo. Good defending there by Matheus Nunes. He has to be touch tight throughout this match. We're looking at the Alex Jimenez challenge there on Nico Gonzalez. It was off the ball, but Haaland was breaking. Here's Doku now. Brilliant bit of skill there from the Belgian. Look at him drive in the central position. Here's Ryan Cherki. Slows the pace down here. Bournemouth get enough back. Here's the number 10, Cherki. Doku. Bernardo Silva. Pretty much popping up wherever he wants in this match here. Now on the right wing. Gives it to Ryan Cherki. Foden. Gonzalez. Well, Bournemouth need to keep someone on Gonzalez and make sure that he doesn't dictate the play here. Someone like Alex Scott or Tyler Adams has to try and get touch tight to the midfielder. Ryan Cherki trying to get away from Semenyo. Ruben Diaz. Good line breaker there to Phil Foden. Shirky. All the way back here. Here's Bernardo Silva. Gonzalez, quick scan. Now to Ruben Diaz. Nunez gives it away. Oh, there was a chance there for Alex Scott, who nipped in there, but couldn't get an accurate pass there to Antoine Semenyo. Here's Bernardo Silva here, playing as the auxiliary defensive midfielder as the two centre-backs split. Shirky. Bernardo Silva. Clip pass to Nico Gonzalez. Lovely first touch from him. Feeds it on to the right-hand side. Here's Mateus Nunes, providing width on the right-hand side. Here's Doku now. Joining in. Jeremy Doku looking to play the 1-2 there with Shirky. Good defending there. Adrian Trafford making sure that he followed him every step of the way. Bernardo Silva. Nico Gonzalez. Good possession here from Manchester City. Nunez's ball is easily intercepted. Shirky. Good touch there. Ryan Shirky takes the scenic route. Finds Josko Guardiol. Bernardo Silva. He's got carte blanche here, really. He can pretty much pick up any position that he wants. Brilliant from Nunes to get away from Trafford. Mateus Nunes. Phil Foden on the right-hand side. He is onside. Doku. Closed down by Tyler Adams. Bernardo Silva here, now on the right winger. Nunes is on side, so is Doku. Now Ruben Diaz. Again, Bournemouth forced to be in their own half here. City just picking them apart here with short and crisp passes. Gonzalez, Foden, Gonzalez again. Ryan Shirky, very good pass there. Chance, massive opportunity. City are playing some sumptuous football here. Again, the one-touch play is irresistible and nearly yielding a goal. Jimenez now driving Bournemouth forward. David Brooks. Jimenez. Shifts it on to Diakite. Well, Bournemouth will know that halfway through the first half, it's just a goal that they have to try and recover from. Not an easy place to try and do that, that's for sure. Here's Senesi. Again, it's all about picking up the right positions and try and pull City out of their shape here. Petrovic. Jimenez. Alex Scott. Scoop pass to the left back, Adrian Trafford. Now Semenyo. Tyler Adams back to Semenyo. Bournemouth's turn to now be patient here. Semenyo. Tyler Adams. Shifts it to Diakite, the French centre-back. Well, both centre-backs are playing at the halfway line here. That's exactly how Manchester City scored when they did pinch the ball. Good driving run here as he finds Tyler Adams. Here's Semenyo. Trafford. That's a good bit of defending there from Mateus Nunes. And we have the game's first corner. Bournemouth trying to find a way past the City defence. City were in 8th position before kickoff. And as it stands, they will leapfrog Bournemouth, Chelsea, Spurs and the rest to 2nd position. Try and put some pressure on Arsenal, who are looking like they're going to be running away with the Premier League title. Corner comes in by Scott. Good ball in. Donnarumma flaps and it's 1-1. It's Tyler Adams. He takes advantage of an uncharacteristic Donnarumma error and Bournemouth are back in this contest. Incredible scenes. Gianluigi Donnarumma is complaining that he was impeded. Bournemouth will not be complaining whatsoever. Tyler Adams from close range lashes it home. Donnarumma is adamant that he was fouled. Let's have a look at this ball in there by Scott. It's very good. Oh, he has to be stronger there, Donnarumma. He is favourite. He's got a fist to it. Oh, he's very, very weak. He has absolutely no case. Well, he wriggles away from the initial bit of contact, but once he's there, the punch is weak. It falls straight into the path of a grateful Tyler Adams on the volley. And we're back level at 1 apiece here. 20 minutes remaining in this first half. And Bournemouth will be feeling a whole lot better now. Well, Tyler Adams, moved from Leeds to Bournemouth, has really been one of the linchpins in centre midfield for Andoni Iraola. Donnarumma will be looking back at it and he'll know that he has to do better. I think he might have picked up a yellow card for the excessive complaining that he did. Might have been a bit of dissent added on to it, as Manchester City now will have to recover here. You can see that David Brooks has hooked his arm, but then Donnarumma breaks free of it. And then once he's broken free, he's gotten a good fist, or what should have been an easy fist to it. Instead, he flapped at it, fell right into the path of Tyler Adams. 1-1, game on. Well, Gianluigi Donnarumma generally very assured in those positions, but he'll have to really cop to that error. Well, Pep Guardiola would have been relatively pleased with that first 20 minutes. Seen a few things from Bournemouth where they could have added a bit of trouble for Manchester City's back line. Bournemouth, of course, did score in the very first minute, but it was ruled as offside, as Eli Jr. was clearly offside. Alex Jimenez will take this free kick. The offside flag has been raised. Diakite, centre-back from France, replacing Dean Huijsen as the right-sided centre-back. Zabarny in the left one. Well, Dean Huijsen is so versatile, or was so versatile for Andoni Iraola. Could be played as the right-sided centre-back, left-sided centre-back. If they wanted to play as the back three, he could be the one in the middle. He was aerially dominant, great ball-playing centre-half. What an acquisition from Real Madrid. Well, Manchester City will have to go again. Donnarumma pumps that forward. What a header that is from Haaland. He's found Ryan Cherki. He doesn't have the burst to get away, but Doku definitely does. Jeremy Doku. It's Ryan Cherki. Great block by Diakite. And Phil Foden with some dancing feet hands it off to Doku. Great pass there. Cherki, another brilliant block. Manchester City once again on the front foot here. Cross comes in. They ask for the handball. Oh, the City players are swarming Anthony Taylor there, but Anthony Taylor's adamant that the arms were close to the body. Let's have a look here. Ooh, that is very, very risky there, you know. He is close. The arm is outstretched, but it's hit his knee first. And that is what will save him. Jimenez will be breathing a huge sigh of relief after that. Corner here for Manchester City. Well, Ryan Cherki and... oh, they're going to have a look here at VAR. That could spell trouble here for Bournemouth. See, it's hit his knee first, and then it hits his arm. You cannot do too much about that. I think Bournemouth should be fine here. So we're into the 30th minute. Well, Manchester City's third corner. Anthony Taylor wants a quick move on here. On the left-hand side is Phil Foden, delivers the ball in. A header from Haaland. Oh, there was a chance there. Oh, what a chance. What a massive opportunity there for Josko Guardiola. It's cleared with a brilliant block. It sits up nicely for him. Oh, that's a critical block. I think it's Tavernier. Oh, it's Senesi rather. Another corner. Phil Foden this time with an in-swinger. Cleared away by Petrovic. Shirky. Doku. Good block there from Diakite. Brilliant. And he wins the foul. Jeremy Doku just pleading his innocence there. David Brooks, the captain, working out defensively there. Pep Guardiola wants a lot more from his team here. 15 minutes plus added on time remain in this first half. Bournemouth, with Andoni Iraola at the helm, have matched them stride for stride in this first half so far. Bournemouth looking to stay in second place here after match week 10. Good header. Guardiola clears. Jimenez. Nico Gonzalez unopposed. You're looking at the table as it stands. Bournemouth with 19 points. 6 behind Arsenal. This is exactly the result the Arsenal fans, Mikel Arteta and the players will be hoping for. That might be another corner for Manchester City. It is. Jeremy Doku is picking up dangerous positions and causing all sorts of problems to the Bournemouth backline so far. Fourth corner for Manchester City. All have been taken by Phil Foden so far. Haaland, Ruben Diaz, the main targets. Josko Guardiola is a real presence in the box too. He's gone for depth here, Phil Foden. Good defending there by Tavernier. Manchester City will have to reload. I was very surprised to see West Ham pick up all 3 points. I think they have, I just want to see. It was 2-1 that I saw in stoppage time. Since then, did Newcastle manage to score a late goal? Oh, no, they didn't. It was West Ham who scored the third. Absolutely crazy there. Thomas Soucek scoring the 98th minute. Newcastle United were hoping to leapfrog a few teams to get into the top half. Shirky again finds Erling Haaland. He's through on goal again. It's Erling Haaland! It's 2-1 to Manchester City! Haaland is devastating in front of goal. He has a brace. Bournemouth cut apart. He is inevitable, Erling Haaland. He has his 13th Premier League goal in 10 games. What a striker, man. What a player. Every time he's in front, there's just no way to get around him. He is so composed in front of goal that you never will bet against him. Against City, patient here. Ryan Shirky has just been absolutely brilliant. Just picks up the ball. Haaland is definitely onside. He commits Petrovic and then just slots it in after rounding the keeper. That is a magnificent pass by Ryan Shirky, who's got 2 assists in the match and both to his favourite centre-forward. Erling Haaland is an absolute menace. Just no doubt in your mind, is there, when he's through on goal. Bournemouth's defend was just cut open there. There's far too much space. I think the left back is pulled apart. You can see the space opening up from the left side at centre-back. Haaland just opens up there. And once he's in front of the defender, there's no chance. And then from there, you know the rest. Erling Haaland continues to be the master marksman, not just for Manchester City, but in the Premier League and in world football. If he stays at Manchester City for the next 10 years. Oh, what a pass that is from Doku. It's Nico O'Reilly. He gets away from the keeper. And it's Phil Foden. Oh, my word. Senesi somehow, with an unbelievable goal line clearance. That should have been 3-1 to Manchester City. Bournemouth are all over the shop here. Nico O'Reilly from left back found himself bearing down on goal. Tried to do the exact same thing that Haaland did. Showed the composure. It was on target. But Marco Senesi made sure that his positioning was first class. Will Bournemouth have to be careful? This game could have well and truly been over here. Semenyo now. Semenyo with the strike. It's on target. Straight into the hands of Donnarumma with the quick release there for Foden. Again with Bournemouth's high line. Just shows you that Someone like Haaland can just play off the shoulder, and from there, you're in so much trouble. There has to be pressure on the ball. Talked about someone trying to be on Nico Gonzalez early on, but now the focus has to change to Ryan Cherki because he is pulling the strings. Here's Senesi, Semenyo, Tyler Adams. Goes back to Senesi. Keeps it short here for Alex Scott. Here's Diakite. Jimenez. Well, under 10 minutes remain in this first class first half. It's been all action. 3 goals, could have been more. Semenyo with an outrageous first touch. Brings it down. Here's Adams. Trafford. Adams again. Scott. Senesi. Again, the centre-backs continue to be in an offensive position. Lovely 1-2 here. Ilajuni Krupia just loses out. He's had very little to do after scoring that offside goal. City play through the Bournemouth press brilliantly here. Jeremy Doku commits a couple of players, and he does again. And it's Erling Haaland. He's through on goal. It's Erling Haaland. Oh, you would have bet your house on him finishing there. But Petrovic stands tall. Well, Manchester City with 2 magnificent chances. This was all about Jeremy Doku. Haaland went for the dinked finish. Petrovic gets a crucial hand to it. Good save from the Serbian. Well, Pep Guardiola has seen 2 golden chances spurned to possibly make it 3-1 here. City take a short corner. Bernardo Silva clips the ball into the box. Good take there from Petrovic. Well, Andoni Iraola is going to continue asking his players to do the same thing here. That's for sure. But they will have to be the first ones to admit that this game could have well and truly been out of their grasps before the first half ended here. Scott. Jimenez. David Brooks. As it stands, Bournemouth still in the game here. Here's Jimenez. Again, waits for a bit of movement in front, but decides to go back to Diakite. Here's Senesi. His goal line clearance of Nico O'Reilly was critical to keep it at 2-1. Here's Trafford. Somehow finds Semenyo. Picking up central positions here, the Ghanaian. Shifted the pass. Oh, he has to be careful here. City have pinched the ball, and now they're in business again. Bernardo Silva slows it down, takes a bit of contact, spins away from trouble. Here's Phil Foden. Gonzalez. Nico O'Reilly. Had made the run forward, but good defending. Here's Josko Guardiol. Ruben Diaz. Haaland. What a pass there for Ryan Cherki. He had to do too much to get away from Diakite. That's a lovely pass, but will be intercepted. Here's Trafford. Ooh, Semenyo is holding his face there. That was a hefty challenge with Ruben Diaz. And the referee has not blown his whistle, but Bournemouth will take that out of play. It's a sore one there for Semenyo. There's nothing much that Ruben Diaz could have done there in terms of getting out the way. He was absolutely on him. It's a sore one on the lower back of Antoine Semenyo. Not yet gotten going in this first half so far. Nico O'Reilly could have very easily made it 3. Jeremy Doku is causing so many problems. What a pass that was for Nico O'Reilly. Rounded off the keeper. Did so well. Got his shot on target. This was absolutely brilliant here. It was Jimenez and not Senesi. Well, a bit of a breather here for the Manchester City and Bournemouth players. gotten going in this first half. Well, Erling Haaland could have very easily made it 3-1 to Manchester City. As it stands, he's the man who scored both the goals for Manchester City in typical Erling Haaland fashion. 13 Premier League goals for the best marksman in the league. You can't just help and marvel at him, can you? I mean, he's just takes his game to the next level. Chances for him is just bread and butter. Easy stuff, light work for the Norwegian. Well, under 5 minutes plus stoppage time remain, and what has been a first-class first half, really. It's been a thoroughly enjoyable watch. Manchester City should be home and dry. Instead, just the one goal separating the two teams. Pep Guardiola will be very, very pleased with the way this game has gone so far, but he'll want that cushion goal, that's for sure. Semenyo is really struggling here. This could be a massive blow for Bournemouth if he's not able to continue. Their star player, their left winger, 6 goals and 3 assists for the Ghanaian in this league season. It's been one of the star attackers in the whole of the league here, but we're back underway. Diakite, Jimenez, Scott, trying to play the 1-2 with Brooks there, surely a foul. But from Bournemouth's point of view, the only pretty much good news is it's just the one goal that separates the two teams. They have been thoroughly outplayed in this match. But Andoni Iraola knows that the game is still open here. Here's Semenyo. Good carry there. What a pass that is. Fizzed onto the right-hand side. Effortlessly to the captain, David Brooks. Brooks in a central position. Tavernier, Brooks. Tyler Adams picks up the loose ball. This is intricate from Bournemouth. Tavernier trying to go around the outside. Surely a foul there. Oh, it's gone the other way instead. I think Tavernier has just stepped on Mateus Nunes there. It might be a painful one for the Portuguese. Tavernier couldn't have done too much there. Let's have a look here. He's trying to just get away from this. Oh, it's a bad one there. He's just overrun the ball. He's just tried to reach for it. Studs have caught the bottom of the ankle. It's a very sore one for Mateus Nunes. Yep, those are extremely painful if you've ever felt one on the ankle, below or above it. Could be very, very painful for Mateus Nunes. We'll look to soldier on. Couple of injury stoppages. First for Semenyo, now for Mateus Nunes. But he's back on his feet, which is the good news. Andoni Iraola would have watched that first half, and he'll know that his team are very lucky to still be in it. Well, Nunes is back on his feet. Good news for him in Manchester City. Donnarumma punts that forward. Senesi just hammers that up the pitch. Decent touchdown. Lovely take. Senesi thought about the pass, decides to go back to Petrovic instead. Diakite. Jimenez. Clip pass on the left-hand side. What a touch that is from Semenyo. Brilliant bit of skill there to evade the challenge. Clever pass. Oh, Trafford was there. Nearly finds him. Adams pinches the ball though. Semenyo lets it go. Here's Alex Scott. Tyler Adams. Scott again. Back to Adams. Good shifted pass there. Senesi just trying to calm the pace down. Under 30 seconds of normal time remaining. That's a clever pass for Eli Krupa Jr. He is onside. Krupi lays it off. Here's Trafford. The two Frenchmen combining. Decent ball. Nico O'Reilly is very much in position here. Jeremy Doku now trying to lead the counter-attack. And just drop his shoulder and get away from Jimenez, who's having absolutely none of that. Well, we're into stoppage time here in this first half. It's been electric stuff for Manchester City, and as it stands, they'll be climbing into second in the league behind Arsenal. Six points separating Manchester City and Arsenal after game week 10 as it stands. City have scored 19 so far, Arsenal 18, but City, of course, have conceded 8. Arsenal just the 3 goals. City recycle possession here. Ruben Diaz. Mateus Nunes. Good driving run there by the right back. Brilliant play from him. He looks for Haaland. Oh, what a comfortable cushion header that was. Alex Jimenez showing unreal composure. And he's shifted that pass forward for David Brooks. Should be a foul there. Manchester City are trying to be very clever there. You can see Phil Foden. He's completely not involved in the play, but he wants to stop the counter-attack. It's a clear yellow card for the young Englishman. I call him young. He is not young anymore. It's just how you're accustomed to think of Phil Foden, who never seems to be aging, but trying to find his way back into the grand scheme of things with Thomas Tuchel's England. Well, with Cole Palmer, Jude Bellingham, Morgan Rogers, this feels like a long way back for Phil Foden in the England setup. Here's Senesi. We'll be hoping to get on the plane to North America for the World Cup for Argentina. Well, Cristian Romero, Lisandro Martinez. Of course, the big name players. That's a very good pass there from Diakite. Brooks. Tyler Adams. Switches the pass to Antoine Semenyo. Clever nutmeg pass there for Trafford. Ball into the box. Well defended. It's Gonzalez who's had an excellent first half. Speaking of excellent first halves, here's Ryan Cherki. Bernardo Silva with a magnificent switch out to Nico O'Reilly, who just takes his eye off the ball but still keeps the ball in play. Here's Foden. Tosco Guardiola. Well, 2 minutes of stoppage time remain in this first half. Here's Jeremy Doku, who has been a live wire, an absolutely electric performance from the Belgian winger, especially when he picks up pockets in the central areas. He is so difficult to defend against because he can drop the shoulders, he can go either way, and he's got that burst of acceleration from a standing start, which is so difficult to defend. That's what defenders hate the most, don't they? That kind of pace, especially from a standing start, where he just freezes you as a centre-back and then just makes that movement forward. And once he bursts past you, it's so difficult because he's strong, he's compact. He's an excellent player there. That'd be a foul and a yellow card for Bournemouth. Have to make sure that they keep their shape and their heads going into the half-time break. A minute of stoppage time remain. Here's Phil Foden. Finds Mateus Nunes. Foden. Ooh, that might be a foul there right in front of Anthony Taylor. It is. Such a needless foul to give by Antoine Semenyo. Has to do better there as it gives Manchester City an opportunity to load the box just before the half-time whistle here. Yep, clear foul there by Semenyo. Can have no complaints about it. Well, Ryan Cherki might just fancy himself here from this position. It's not going to be easy. He's about 25 yards away from goal on the right hand side. It's going to take something special if you are trying to beat Petrovic from here. Better option from Shirky would be to probably just lift this into the box. He does have the guile, that's for sure. Foden on his left foot is also an option. It's Ryan Shirky, and it's punched away. Petrovic had to make the diving save. Good free kick there from Ryan Shirky. He's got the pace, he's got the swerve on it. That was a good free kick. Ooh, that was a shocking decision from Anthony Taylor as he blows the whistle for the half-time. Manchester City don't get the opportunity to take the corner here. Well, Erling Haaland scored in the 17th minute. Tyler Adams equalized 8 minutes after Donnarumma with an uncharacteristic mistake. But 8 minutes later, Erling Haaland made it 2-1. And from there, City could have gone from strength to strength. But first Nico O'Reilly and then Erling Haaland had two massive opportunities to extend their lead. Instead, at the Etihad Stadium at half-time, it's Manchester City 2, Bournemouth 1. Well, I've got about 15 minutes here, so I'm just going to watch what's happening in the Women's World Cup final. India versus South Africa. India were put into bats, put a target of 299 for the South Africans. I did see that South Africa lost 2 quick wickets. Ooh, they're in all sorts of trouble here. They're 148 for 5. Deepti has just picked up a wicket. New batsman coming in. Well, it looks like India will be real favourites here, but for South Africa, Volvaart is still out there. She scored 75 runs, nearly half the team's score, but Annery Jackson now trying to give support here to Volvaart, as the Indian fans will feel that they have one hand on the trophy here, having dismissed half of South Africa's side. And now Deepti looking to make herself a bit more forward here as it's a pushed away. Well, what a story this would be for India, wouldn't it be, if they can clinch the World Cup here. It's been a long journey, arduous. I mean, the amount of challenges women have in this country, not just in the other sports, but even in cricket. But a World Cup win would really shift the dynamics of this great sport in India. Not that it needs another push, but get another World Cup here. And we will see this as Deepti Sharma with 18 wickets, top of the pile. The D.Y. Patil Stadium in Navi Mumbai, waiting to explode into celebrations, but there's still a lot of work to do, and with Volvaart still out there in the middle, South Africa will still have a chance. She's played at nearly a run a ball. Shafali, excellent with her 4 overs, 2 for 13 for her. Volvaart is in the air and it lands safely. There have been heart-and-mouth moments there for South Africa, who are pretty much pinning their hopes on their opening batsmen here. Well, Deepti and Shafali with their spin has really put in the clamps on South Africa. Their fans will be watching along and losing hope with every wicket that goes. The Indian fans celebrating every wicket, and they know They've got one hand on the trophy, but the job is still not done. Pulled away by Volvard. Just be a single. Well, Dirksen is trying to be as compact as possible in the early stages here. She'll know that she'll have to put a price on her wicket as much as possible because Volvard is running out of partners. Dirksen looking for a quick 2 here. She gets there quite comfortably. Oh, very good running between the wickets. Have to be careful there, especially with Dirksen running at the danger end on that occasion. Shefali Verma. Excellent 5 overs from her. "31 overs gone. It's 156 for 5 here for South Africa. At this stage, India were 173 for 3. South Africa behind both in terms of runs and wickets. But with Volvard out there, the longer she stays, South Africa will feel that they have a chance, but they can't rely entirely on her. She'll have to play a monstrous innings from here if they are to see South Africa lifting the trophy. India will be quietly confident, but they have to be aggressive here. They have to make sure that they've got the foot on the throats of South Africa's team, but they'll have to make sure that that foot remains pretty much there. There's the equation. 143 required of 114 deliveries. 19 overs for South Africa to navigate here. And 5 wickets for India. We'll see them lift the ICC Women's World Cup trophy for the first time. Radha bowling a 5th over. Dirksen just shifts it for a single. This is going to be the smart cricket that South Africa will have to play. They've got Tryon, De Klerk and Kaka coming up next. It's not much batting depth for South Africa. Volvard 78 of 75 deliveries. Pulls that away nicely into the gap. Should be a couple of runs. Just restricted to a single. This is a good over this from Radha. Just the 2 runs conceded for it. You can see Jemima Rodrigues at long on fielding there. A heroic knock in the semi-finals. Dirksen, the nice cover drive. Oh, brilliant fielding there. Magnificent work from Harmanpreet. Excellent work from the skipper. That's the kind of fielding that you need. Full stretch, does brilliantly. Tossed up nicely. Line and length there from Radha has been spot on. Can you just fire that at the stumps as regularly as possible? Ooh, that's a full toss and it's hammered away by Dirksen. It will be a 6 and a no ball. Well, Radha seems to have just lost the ball with slipping there. Yep, it's going to be a 6. It's going to be a free hit. And an opportunity now for South Africa to get ahead of the game for the first time. It was an absolute gimme. She's not going to miss out on that. The dew is definitely going to play a huge part, especially with rains in Navi Mumbai. Maximum there. And a free hit. Rather under pressure. Dirksen will look to go again here. She does. Oh, what a shot that is. It's back-to-back sixes. South Africa roaring back into this contest. 179 for 5. India now under a bit of pressure for the first time after a long, long time. 126 required from one away delivery as Harmanpreet Kaur will be having a look at that over. Has seen it go against their team. And now South Africa will feel that they have the momentum for the first time here. And they look to try and continue this good play here. Wolvaardt still remains the main target. Well, about 2 or 3 minutes remain before the start of the second half at Etihad. We'll try and keep a close eye on what happens in this match between India and South Africa. Well, a couple of sixes in that over would have really taken some of the pressure of Wolvaardt, because it just felt like she had everything on her shoulders in terms of trying to score runs. What a year this could be for South Africa, winning the ICC World Test Championship with the men's, and then now with an opportunity to add more silverware. And from Bournemouth's point of view, how they're going to try and respond, we'll wait and see, because they've been thoroughly outplayed in the first half. And for them to try, they have Evan Nilsson, who's on the bench, will be a very useful option to come off the bench, because we have seen very little from Eli Jr. So Evan Nilsson coming in could just try and make things a bit better for Manchester City in terms of having to defend a little bit more. Just going to keep the cricket score happening in the background to make sure that I know what's happening. My focus will of course be on the football. I think we are about a minute away from the start of kickoff at the Etihad Stadium. Manchester City 2-1 up, and as it stands are in second position. As it stands, the top four: Arsenal with 25 points, Manchester City 19, Liverpool with 18, Bournemouth with 18, Spurs, Chelsea, Sunderland and Manchester United all on 17 points, with Crystal Palace 16 and Brighton with 15. That's how tight from second to 10th position is, as both sets of players heading back on the pitch here. Looks like Krupi Jr. will be back to take his place. South Africa need 125 in 17.3 overs here. Required run rate of 7.14. for the Proteas. As it stands, the top four, Arsenal with 25 points, Manchester City. Well, Antoine Semenyo suffered that low back injury after a collision with Ruben Diaz in the first half. But he's back fit, he's okay, should be ready to continue. South Africa, on the other hand, look, with Volvaert and Dirksen, 100 runs between them. Volvaert doing the heavy lifting, of course. 81 of 79 deliveries for the star opener. South Africa within touching distance here. If they play this right, if they keep wickets in hand and take this deep, the Indian women will start to panic a little bit more. Erling Haaland for club and country has played 16 games and he has 26 goals. That's more than some clubs and countries have it. He is a man mountain. Well, the referee has done the final checks here. And we're all but set for the start of the second half here, as Manchester City look to protect their lead, and Bournemouth will be looking to get one back at least if they're trying to get back into this contest. And we're off and running for the start of the second half. Ryan Shirky goes all the way back to Donnarumma, and we're ready for the start of the second half. Well, Andoni Iraola would have seen that first half, identified that his team were more than fortunate to keep the scoreline at 2-1 because Petrovic had to make a big save of Haaland. We also saw Alex Jimenez with a much needed goal line clearance. Here's Brooks. Fast start here from Bournemouth again. Nunez makes sure that cuts that across. That's a foul there on the Bournemouth skipper. Brooks trying to just play that central pass into the channel, but clearly fouled there by the Manchester City captain. Captain on captain challenge. Looking at the subs bench for Manchester City, they have plenty of options here. Rodri, Tijani Reinders. So the midfield area can easily be refreshed. They've got Savinho, can also come on. So there are options for Manchester City. Alex Scott. Decent ball in, headed away by Mateus Nunez. Here's Jimenez, goes all the way back to Petrovic. And Shirky applying the pressure. Here's Trafford. Jimenez, back to Trafford again. Semenyo. Tyler Adams. Here's Diakite. Jimenez. Good press here from Manchester City, forcing them to turn the ball over. That's exactly what happens. Definitely a foul there by Eli Jr. Josko Guardiola shields the ball nicely. It's been a frustrating game for Eli Jr. Krupi. 4 goals in the Premier League for the 19-year-old Frenchman, who's really struggled to get into the game here. Very few touches for him. Just shows you how well Manchester City have defended the spaces and situations. Donnarumma. Oh, what a turn that is from Gonzalez. It's absolutely brilliant. And he finds Nico O'Reilly. Here's the left back. He's got Doku for support. Uses him immediately. Jeremy Doku plays the 1-2 with O'Reilly. Ball comes into the box. Haaland's header. And Manchester City once again turn it on the box here. Erling Haaland's header. Well over the crossbar. But beautiful football again from Manchester City. All starts with Nico Gonzalez's grass-cutting pass to O'Reilly. Doku feeds it back to O'Reilly. Just hangs that in the air for Haaland to attack. It's a free header for Haaland. You expect him to do a bit better there, don't you? To at least get that on target. Bournemouth looking to play out the back as Senesi forced to go long on that occasion. Semenyo dispossessed. Bournemouth pinched the ball back. Oh, he's gone from the halfway line. Donnarumma will have to claim that comfortably. Outrageous from Semenyo. Saw the goalkeeper off his line. Thought, why not? South Africa continue to prod along nicely in the chase here in the ICC Women's World Cup. India still 5 wickets away, with Volvart still out there in the middle. South Africa will definitely have a chance. Menez goes back to Petrovic. Good pass there back to the Spanish right back. Plays it across to Senesi. Good shift pass there to Adrian Trafford. Beautiful pass there for Tyler Adams. He breaks the lines, but too much pace on it. Too much pace. Here's Ruben Diaz. Good pass there as Bernardo Silva switches it out. Inch perfect pass there for Nico O'Reilly. Here's Ryan Cherki. Loses out to Brooks. Pep Guardiola fuming there on the side of the touchline. What a pass there for Semenyo. Bournemouth are in here. Oh, what a pass. Brooks, chance. Krupi Jr. side netting. Bournemouth with the best opportunity in the second half here. That all comes from Ryan Cherki losing the ball here. What a switch out this is to Semenyo, who plays a delicious ball across the face of goal. Brooks does the right thing. Plays it across goal for Elijuni Krupi, who could have hit that on target. Instead, it was the side netting. You're seeing that Semenyo is being a lot more influential in the game in the second half. Lovely turn there from Mateus Nunes, but it's a heavy pass. Jimenez, Pep Guardiola's head will be steaming with a couple of passes that he's seen. It's exactly what he was not asked his team to do heading into the second half, because the game is still very much open here. Trafford. Tyler Adams goes back to Senesi. Lovely pass on the left foot here for Semenyo. Semenyo's left-footed pass easily gathered by Gigi Donnarumma. Well, Donnarumma would have shaken off that first half mistake, which resulted in Tyler Adams scoring from close range. Other than that, he hasn't really been tested. Lovely touch from Bernardo Silva. Breaks the lines with Phil Foden. What a pass that is. Great control. Look at Doku go, man. He's almost unstoppable in those positions. Phil Foden with a clever back heel. Doku breaks the challenge. Onto the left-hand side for Nico O'Reilly. Clip ball into the box. Easily headed away by Tyler Adams. Jimenez. Bernardo Silva working very hard. Josko Guardiola nipping in there. What a first touch that is from O'Reilly again. Doku. Here's Gonzalez, Foden, Bernardo Silva, Ryan Cherki. 2 assists for Erling Haaland. Both were first class. One was a cushion header and the other one was a scoop pass on his left foot. Again, Bournemouth not able to keep the ball in tight spaces. They win it back though. Alex Scott finds Marcus Tavernier. He's got the captain on the right-hand side. Here's Brooks. Clever pass. Scott leaves it go. Krupi Jr. saved by Donnarumma. Well, Eli Krupi Jr. is coming into life into the second half. Donnarumma with a much better save. Beautiful football this from Bournemouth. Alex Scott is so clever. He could have gone for goal. Instead, he just lays it off first time for his centre forward to lash onto. Comfortable save there for Donnarumma. Iraola knows that his team have gotten close here with a couple of moments, and both falling for the young centre forward. Second corner for Bournemouth. You can see that Donnarumma is having absolutely none of this one. He wants to clear out the box. Good corner. It's cleared away. Scott at the edge of the box. Feeds it back onto Marcus Tavernier, who's on his left foot. Whips in the ball into the box. Good header there by Josko Guardiol. Cuts it back. Here's Senesi. Oh, his touch is heavy. It fell to the wrong person, really. Here's Ryan Shirky. Oh, he was not looking comfortable trying to run with the ball on that occasion. Into the 10th minute in the second half, and it's really flown by. Full credit to the two teams. Well, South Africa continue to motor on. They need 114 of 88 deliveries at a 7.77 run rate. Required run rate, that is. Here's Nico Gonzalez. Bernardo Silva. Back to Gonzalez. Foden. Good pass to Bernardo Silva. Here's Ryan Shirky, who's on the right-hand side. Haaland's in the box. Shirky takes the long route. Good defending by Senesi. It's a corner for Manchester City. Well, Bournemouth had two glorious chances early on in the second half, but Manchester City are starting to slowly grow back into this game here. Ryan Shirky trying to make himself a nuisance for the Bournemouth defence. Phil Foden delivers the ball in. It's easily cleared off the front post by Alex Scott. Senesi's header is good. Scott boots that forward. Anywhere will do. Safety first from the number 8. He's had a good game. Alex Scott has really impressed in midfield alongside Tyler Adams. That high line is suicidal, especially with the pace of Erling Haaland. Especially when you see both centre-backs at the halfway line. Erling Haaland's eyes are just lighting up, waiting to get that pass. Here's Bernardo Silva. Gonzalez. Phil Foden. Now Josko Guardiol. Shifts it onto the left-hand side. Lovely pace and turn of direction there. Outstanding defending there from Jimenez. He'll take the foul. Might have done some damage to his knee there. Does take so much to try and defend against Jeremy Doku. Doku is a live wire. Well, the required run rate for South Africa is 8 and over in this chase. Still going on here. Volvaert is still out there. Andoni Iraola has seen something on the sidelines monitor, and he's not happy about it. Maybe he feels that Alex Jimenez might have done a bit of damage here for his knee. Have to wait and see whether or not he can carry on here. Yep, he is struggling here, the right back. Not sure whether or not he'll be able to continue here. Andoni Iraola scribbling a few notes on his notepad. He would have been a lot more encouraged in the second half, knowing that his team have gone toe-to-toe with Manchester City, with the game still open, still hanging in the balance, considering just one goal separates the two teams. Manchester City will want that insurance goal. They had two massive opportunities in the first half. First for Nico O'Reilly, and then Erling Haaland had the opportunity of completing his hat-trick. Just try to lift that over the goalkeeper. Well, Bournemouth wasting no time here. They've got Justin Kluivert, and Evan Nilsson is on the bench. Evan Nilsson is stripped and ready to go, and Justin Kluivert will be as well. Attacking substitutions from Andoni Iraola felt inevitable in the second half. He's looking for more firepower in those areas. Here's Gonzalez. He's taken far too long on the ball here. Brooks now. He's in a central position. Brooks with the strike. Not much power or placement on it from the captain. Nico Gonzalez taking far too long on the ball there. You don't get that kind of time in the Premier League. Gonzalez has almost played a year in the Premier League now. He came in the January window from Porto. £60 million. Here's Doku. Foden. What I like about Jeremy Doku is not just playing as that winger, isn't he? He's just picking up those central pockets. They already have the likes of Foden and Shirky there. And if you add another problem piece, especially like Jeremy Doku, could really be a headache. Here's Shirky. Clever turn there from Foden. Flicks it forward to Nico O'Reilly. He goes for the strike. He thought about it. O'Reilly! 3-1 to Manchester City. The left back who could have scored in the first half now make sure that Manchester City have the 2-goal cushion and now are in second position in the Premier League. Brilliant from the left back. He had far too much time. He wasn't going to miss out. Finds the bottom corner. Petrovic at full stretch. Wasn't going to get there. And City have the insurance goal now. They slow the play down. Foden's touch here is brilliant. O'Reilly drives into the box. Nobody closing him down. And he says, why not? And he finds the bottom corner. Phil Foden will be credited with the assist. Nico O'Reilly showing a bit of pausa to his game. Just takes an extra bit of touch. Just feints and then shoots. Half an hour remaining in the second half. Pep Guardiola blows some kisses to his left back. Well, Andoni Iraola will be cursing those 2 chances that went begging for his centre forward. Nico O'Reilly at the other end. Getting the adulation and the love from Pep Guardiola as Manchester City now look to consolidate that second position. Well, South Africa need 105 in the last 13 overs. Well, the double substitution was being readied before the goal. I think Andoni Iraola might have waited a touch too long there. And now a 2-goal advantage away at Manchester City is difficult to claw back as the triple substitution. Alex Cook, Evan Nilsson and Justin Kluivert all on the pitch now. Eli Junior Krupi, who had those 2 big chances, Brooks and Jimenez, all out for Evan Nilsson, Kluivert and Cook, who takes the captain's armband. Will Bournemouth need a monumental performance here in the last 30 minutes if they at least salvage a point? But how rare do Manchester City concede 3 goals in the league at home? Very, very rarely. Phil Foden chests it down, punts that forward. Cook's first action is having to clear that anywhere. Excellent header, lovely take there. Beautiful switch out there from Mateus Nunes. Cook, lovely turn. Scott. Tyler Adams. Here's Ryan Shirky. Nico Gonzalez pushes that forward. Lovely touch. Gets away from him again. Haaland just waiting for the pass to be played. Nico Gonzalez, he wins the foul, the free kick, and possibly a yellow card here for Bournemouth. He's looked very good in the base of the midfield for Manchester City. Nico Gonzalez, once Rodri is fit and firing, they have someone like Rodri, Nico Gonzalez and Ryan Cherki as the number 10. Could add another dimension to Manchester City's play here. Tijani Reinders will have to hold bench for a bit of time now, because having had one of the best debuts you can ever see from a foreign player in the Premier League, since then he's found it hard work. Did have the assist against Manchester United in that 3-0 victory. Here's Ruben Diaz. Justin Cliver trying to make himself a nuisance, but commits a foul there on Nico Gonzalez. I'd be interested to see whether or not Pep Guardiola will decide to use Rodri here for the last 20 minutes or so. He is warming up. It's an unnecessary risk by the looks of it, but he'll probably want to just ease him back into full match fitness. They've got one more game before the international break. Manchester City have Liverpool next. That will be a firecracker of a game. Second versus third. Ooh, there's a foul and a yellow card. Adrian Trafford picks up a cynical yellow card as Phil Foden was breaking away. Clear yellow card as he tugs on his jersey. Ooh, the back pass header is cushioned nicely there by Adrian Trafford to Petrovic. Here's Diakite. Petrovic. Here's Senesi. Tyler Adams. Senesi again. Risky pass for Diakite, who deals with it nicely. Here's Cook. And Bournemouth are very composed with the ball between the back line as Senesi looks to break the lines. What a ball that is. The touch is even better. Here's Kluivert. He's got options. He decides to go for the expansive pass to Marcus Tavernier on the right-hand side. Here's Tavernier is into the box. It's Tavernier. Oh, what a curious decision. Oh, Cook has the ball now. Lays it across. There's a massive opportunity. Miscue there from the left back. Well, Adrian Trafford had made the run. He was picked out, but he couldn't find the shot with any sort of contact. Under 25 minutes plus stoppage time remain. Manchester City, as it stands, will be second in the league. 6 points behind league leaders Arsenal. Lovely touch there again. Some of the touches from Gonzalez has been brilliant, and he just scoops that forward for Haaland. Good touch from the centre forward who's on a hat-trick. Haaland thought about the shot. Instead, he feeds it to Ryan Cherki. Foden. Cherki with the shot. That one was destined for the top corner. Just goes over though. Beautiful football once again from Manchester City. Haaland is onside because he is in his own half. Did the unselfish thing of finding Ryan Cherki. Cherki tried to play that quick touch. Pass back to Haaland. Instead, it found its way to Phil Foden, who just laid it off. And Cherki, with the first time effort, nearly finding the top corner. And that's how quickly Manchester City can turn it on there. Here's Alex Scott. Good shifted pass here. Kluivert. South Africa could very easily do this. They need 8.4 and over. They've got 5 wickets in hand. Volvart is still there. India have still left the game open there. Oh, well. Donnarumma had to be alert. That cross come shot there from the left back nearly found its way under the bar. Yep, he definitely wanted to cross that. That had the dip and had Donnarumma worried. Corner here for Bournemouth. They need something to go their way if they're trying to find a way back into this contest. Alex Scott will take the corner. Right-footed in-swinger coming in here. Towards the front post. Cleared away by Haaland. Bournemouth recycle possession here. Lovely switch pass to Senesi. Cleared that away. Nico O'Reilly's header is accurate. Semenyo's just lost his influence in the second half after that good start. Here Shirky tried to do a around the world in a very tight spot. Doesn't get fortunate with it. Adams. Evan Nilsson. Adams again. Here's Tavernier, who's now playing as the right winger. Here's Tyler Adams. Alex Cook. Adams again goes back to Diakite. Here's Marco Senesi. Driving forward with the ball. Decent pass for the left back. Adrian Trufford to chase after this. Mateus Nunes does very well to prevent the corner. Just a throw in for Bournemouth. Into the 70th minute now. City about 20 minutes plus stoppage time away. Ooh, South Africa have lost their 6th wicket. Volvard is on 99. As Semenyo delivers the ball in. And Tavernier steals in. Could have guided his shot on target. Instead doesn't get the connection required. There was an opportunity there really. Good ball there from Antoine Semenyo on his left foot. Breezes away from Ryan Shirky. Semenyo's ball in was well fed. Tavernier. Under close attendance there from Nico O'Reilly. Well, Deepti Sharma for India coming up clutch there. Exposing the lower middle order for South Africa now. Nice pass there for before they Diakite. Lovely switch out there. Good touch there. It's Evan Nielsen, but he has committed the foul in the build-up to it. Well, Manchester City have really managed the game very well since Nico O'Reilly scored. And now we'll be bringing on Savinho and Tijani Reinders as Pep Guardiola looks to freshen the pack here. Tijani Reinders might be coming on for Ryan Shirky by the looks of it. Wait and see whether or not that is the plan. I don't expect Nico Gonzalez to be coming off, that's for sure. And either one of Bernardo Silva or Jeremy Doku might be coming off. Here's Bernardo Silva. Ryan Shirky. Good feed there from the Frenchman, but he's been closed down quickly. Good play there from Trafford. Adams, Semenyo. Bournemouth worked that very well. Into the opposition half now. Evan Nilsson has made the run. Semenyo will have to do a lot, and look at him go here. Antoine Semenyo. He needs a bit of help, but he's been swarmed and swamped on that occasion. Throw in for Manchester City. Well, Volvard has scored a century for South Africa in the World Cup final. It might go in vain, but scoring 100 in a World Cup final is something you will never forget. Congratulations to Volvard, who might have played an innings in vain, but she's still out there in the middle, and she'll be looking to try and take her team home as Ryan Shirky and Jeremy Doku both coming off for Manchester City, as Tijani Reinders and Savinho will be replacing the two. Well, Reinders and Savinho looking to add a bit more injection for Manchester City to add possibly a 4th goal here. Well, for Bournemouth, they've made a change as well. Max Christie comes on for Alex Scott. The number 10 replaces the number 8. Bournemouth now have thrown quite a few weapons on the pitch here. Try and at least find a goal back in the next 10 minutes to make it a nervy 10 for Manchester City. Erling Haaland trying to make himself a nuisance. Here's Trafford. Here's the captain Cook. Finds Tavernier. Tyler Adams, who scored Bournemouth's lone goal so far. That was a huge mistake from Donnarumma. Other than that, Bournemouth in the second half had a couple of chances with Eli Junior Krupi. One hit the side netting, the other one was wide. Oh, that's a risky pass. Haaland nearly getting there first. Could have really spelled trouble for Bournemouth and finished the game off right here, right then. Here's Christie. Shifts the pass onto the left-hand side. Trafford. Senesi. Good pass between the lines. Excellent switch of play there for Cook. Here's Tavernier. Again, Bournemouth patient with the ball. No panic in their play. In the 75th minute, there's Max Christie. Looks to play an ambitious ball. Straight down the hands for Donnarumma. Well, South Africa will have to go at 9 and over to chase this down. Wolvaardt is still out there in the middle and she will have to play the big shots. Needs a bit of support at the other end. Bournemouth worked this very well though. Here's Semenyo. Good clip pass onto the right hand side. Here's Tavernier. Christie. Adams. Good bit of play there from Adams. Shifts it onto the left hand side. Bournemouth with territory and a cross comes into the box. Headed away by Nico O'Reilly brilliantly. Phil Foden with an outrageous first touch to bring that down. And he finds Haaland. Oh, Haaland with the nutmeg. It's brilliant away from Diakite. Here's Erling Haaland. It's 3v3 if they play this right. Savinho's got fresh legs on the right-hand side. Here's the Brazilian. Savinho trying to burst through a couple of challenges. Good defending there by Trafford. Erling Haaland was like a freight train in that move. As soon as he nutmegged Diakite, Manchester City were in business. Here's Senesi. Finds Cook. Here's Christie now. Manchester City happy to just go back into their off-the-ball shape here, make it as tight and compact as possible. Here's Trafford. Excellent defending there from Ruben Diaz. Lovely first touch there from Nunes. Finds Savinho. Might look to go on the outside. Nice crisp short passing here. Foden. Nunes. City taking the sting out of the game now. They feel that they've done enough to wrap up all 3 points. Oh, South Africa have lost Wolvaardt, and that just might be that for India to clinch the World Cup. South Africa are 7 down. Well, the Indian ladies will not be celebrating yet, but they'll know that they're very close. City with a chance as Tijani Reinders fires that against the Bournemouth defender. Corner for Manchester City. Well, Deepti Sharma has taken 3 wickets in a World Cup final. And she's gotten the most important one in Volvat, as South Africa's hopes are slipping away. As Manchester City ready a corner here. As Tyler Adams might be suffering from cramps here. He's put in a lot of effort. I think it's his knee rather than cramps. Ooh, that was Ruben Diaz. Having cleared the ball, caught him with the studs. Painful one for the American, but he's back on his feet. Well, Andoni Iraola still looking to shuffle the pack. Tyler Adams coming off. That one was a sore one on his knee, but he has to limp off the field. And Ganon Doak coming on in his place. It's a corner here for Manchester City. Looking to really add the flourish on the scoreline. Another goal here could be real troublesome for Bournemouth. Phil Foden delivers. Good whip on the ball. Ooh, Petrovic comes and gets a good punch on it. Here's Tijani Reinders. Savinho, the two substitutes looking to combine. Tijani Reinders picks up the loose ball there. Decent clip pass. Haaland will still be hungry for the hat-trick. Foden. Gonzalez. Tavernier has picked up the loose ball, and now here's Doak. Semenyo. Lovely first touch from the Ghanaian. Oh, what a challenge that is from Josko Guardiola. It's brilliant from him. Here's Christie. 10 minutes plus stoppage time remain. Here's Tavernier. Doak. Oh, it's an errant pass, and Phil Foden will pick that up and drive with the ball now. Foden waits for a bit of support. That's a foul there by Doak. Phil Foden has suffered a few of them. Well, Deepti Sharma has taken 4 wickets in the final. 8 wickets down South Africa. Erling Haaland coming off. His job's done here as Omar Marmoush will replace him. Manchester City 3-1 up here. 2 goals for the elite marksman. The first one was all about him. The way that he just brought it down and then finished with razor-like precision. And the second one to round off Petrovic and finds the corner. Manchester City 3-1 up here. Brilliant performance from Haaland. Outstanding from Manchester City. Well, Omar Marmoush replaces Erling Haaland as the centre forward. The Egyptian has got the number 7 on his back. Now has to win his place back though. You can see the likes of Jeremy Doku, Bernardo Silva, Phil Foden, Nico Gonzalez. There's a lot of competition for places, and now with Ryan Cherki there too. Just shows you the level of competition for the Manchester City forwards. Here's Bernardo Silva. Excellent performance from the captain once again. The metronome. He's been all over the park conducting things here. Here's Ruben Diaz. Savinho. Lovely turn from him. Feeds it onto the right-hand side. Here's Mateus Nunes. Savinho. The last touch might have come off the Brazilian there. It'll just be a goal kick. Good pass onto the right hand side for Doak. Thought about coming there. Marmoush looking for the counter attack. Instead, one would win the ball back. Here's Semenyo. Christie. Trying to be intricate with their passing. Well defended by Manchester City on that occasion. Good pass there by Savinho to Marmoush. And now he's played that forward. Savinho is onside. And he's looking to take on with fresh legs the Bournemouth defense. Here's Savinho. Oh, that's poor from the Brazilian. Really, really poor from Savinho. Has to do better. He doesn't track back either. Pep Guardiola will not be happy with his cameo so far. 5 minutes plus stoppage time remain.